Right, this is Newport, USA. It's on grass. It is a semi-final. Dabul against Rochus. Dabul had beaten Dustin Brown in the quarter-final. Rochus had beaten Clarkson. Clarkson had a nightmare, but Rochus, by all accounts, had an excellent match. He starts around about 1.36. We come out there on the Bet365 site from back then. It didn't show you who was serving in the first game of a match, which was really useful. What else? I've got a mute button for the original video, so hopefully it won't drown out any comments that I'm going to make. I'll use that if I'm just going to comment a couple of words. If it's going to be a bit of a rant, which if I trade this anything like the last webinar match, there will be a few rants. If I'm going to be saying more than just a couple of words, I'll actually pause the original video. It literally took hours to put the subtitles on the last one, and I don't particularly want to do that again. I think that's about it. We shall crack on. If you did watch the previous webinar, this one took place within a week. I can't remember which one was first. In fact, I think this was first because I've saved it as first webinar. Expect some shocking decisions. I'm going to be trading the same way. It was a week apart. I'm going to be taking shit value. Should be fun. Here we go. Rochus is serving first, by the way.
15, got it in back from the start. Okay, 15 also far, just feeling each other out, as opposed to feeling each other up.
Right, Tron.
Double fault. Okay, could be an interesting one. Set the stage at 300. Everything seems to be working well enough connection wise. Now, in one of the opinions that I read on Tennis Insight, they said if it developed into a long rally type match, that it actually favoured the bull. And that's what we've seen so far.
Just on these little boxes that are appearing, I seem to remember that if I had the webinar software running, it wouldn't show other boxes that would pop up on your screen. You had to choose which boxes would be visible. Obviously, it shows these horrible checkered boxes.
Okay, so not a really convincing first game. Straight point. Because okay, who haven't unmuted? So Keith, just muting your mic there. Don't need any other distractions. Breakpoint again. As I think I started to say, if Dabul breaks, because he's got the better stats, just looking at them for this last week, for this tournament, I will lay, in effect, back him, but I'm going to lay on the Rochus ladder because it's the low 2.
Still taking shit value there.
This week. I'm going great shot. I'm going purely on the stats, but it's cocked it up anyway. What I find is if I can be patient for the first couple of games and not jump in, unless I've got a really strong feeling that it's going one particular way, you can save yourself a lot of hassle. Players will often take either 1 or 2 service games each to get warmed up, which is why you often see a break in the first game.
Just in case you missed what I said a little bit earlier, Dabul apparently had better stats for the tournament.
Going, if you're a little bit nervous, not where she's going. It's good. Before, not produced.
Something else I remember from reading the notes on the match, it was quite windy. They'd also had a lot of rain that week, so the court was probably fairly slippy. The wind probably explains why Rochus is struggling so much in this first game.
Early break would have been nice.
Early break wouldn't have been nice if you're planning on laying after the break.
Wild. Okay, he's taking the first game. I'm just going to take a look at the serve on the next game and then decide. Not too confident about backing Rochus on serve, but let's do it anyway. It's boring if you watch me win every time. Keeps my brain working.
You played your lot. What was your toughest match in this tournament?
The game's commentating there saying how much lower it bounces. So there's some conflict there.
As it's on grass and probably slippery, I'd expect it to have a low bounce.
It's just a weird tournament anyway. Yeah, we'll look at that once we get into the game. We'll get a bit of a lull, no doubt.
Get a bit of a lull waiting for the shittest value possible.
I find it a lot easier to have preset buttons down the bottom. Be great the other way. Oof, now then, 1540 on grass with a good server. I ain't doing it. Not going to do it. That doesn't mean that it will never work, but I find that percentage-wise, it doesn't work well with in the men's game with big servers. And this guy, even though he's got 1540, he's quite capable of banging down a couple of aces.
See, I wasn't a total moron.
See if he can hold on. Prefer him to hold on because that's going to take the price pretty low. Defensive, that's out. Okay.
Just pause that one there. A comment on the 1540. Anybody who's read the up-to-date version of the trading guide will know my thoughts on the 1540. It's okay as a trading aid for really brand new traders because it's got definite rules and just gives people the confidence to get involved in the market. Not something to be used after your first 2 or 3 weeks of being involved in the markets. It's literally just to give you the confidence to click that button to get in there, and especially on grass, it's probably worth backing the server if they're 1540 down. Certainly better value. There's no value on 1540, but as you've seen from watching some of my earlier videos, I had no idea about value anyway. Back on.
Back him anyway. It's a horrible price to be backing at.
So why you're not
Might
backing
work
at,
if he now loses serve himself.
backing at 118? You know what I mean about not having a clue about value?
I suppose in strategy terms, that's wait for the break.
Just pause that one again there. Using all my best strategies from back there. Wait for the break. Again, awful value. Absolutely awful value. I didn't know any better back then. It was something that I did use just to eke out some profit from the markets. Say when I didn't know any better. Awful value. Wait to back a player after they've broken. What was I thinking? Anyway, crack on.
But I know that now you're hoping that he cocks his service game up.
If anything, at this situation, it should be a lay if Dabul has better stats for the week, even though he's not great on grass. Wasn't great on grass.
Off just half the original 300 that I used, which should hopefully keep me at no worse than 0 on Rochus, so I expect to win the match. Yeah, 30. Let's do that now.
Get a laid.
And decide where I think I'm going to get matched. Don't get greedy. Come on, take it, take it, take it, take it, take it. Come on. Nice one. Okay, didn't get matched, and he's now 40. Really bugger. Let's switch to full stake.
Really poor value there. That's pretty much start price. Hasn't broken back yet.
And once this break's complete, hopefully, I'm going to lay Rochus again. Just cut it up. So even though Rochus is a breakup, he doesn't look comfortable. Certainly doesn't look like a 1.39 starting player. Come on, finish the job. Double fall would be great. I could lay Rochus now to give me a head start. Just don't want to play my hand too soon. I need to overcommit. I should have done.
There is the break. The man from Argentina gets back in the first set.
Won't match it.
See, there were two 1540 opportunities, if you like, in the set already. They both would have given you a profit, but tiny amounts of profit. The downside was much bigger.
He's just had a dodge for a service game. If you look at the hedgeable figure, we're on 46. So well under control. Don't always get matches where you're green from the start. It sometimes takes a little bit of work. And of course that makes it more interesting for people looking over your shoulder. Rochus is supposed to be a pretty good server, and the stats sort of bear that out as well. If I'd known how diabolically it was going to be there, I obviously could have laid it 1.18 rather than back.
Look at the price we're at now, 139. I think that's, if anything, a little bit above where Rochus started the match. As he was a fairly strong favourite at the start, he hasn't made a great start to the match. The market's going to be wary of going too much higher, even if Dabul has a comfortable hold. Awful value to lay at 1.39 there.
But a lot of the opinions from people on the Tennis Insight site are saying that Rochus is going to walk this. So when it's, 2-0 up, you're not going to go against that.
Now, I've just read the comments from the Tennis Insight. A lot of people did back Dabul to win. I don't remember anybody saying they were going to walk it. What you've been reading, matey?
Whichever one I've chosen, you're never going to get it right all the time. It's just a matter of giving yourself a chance to profit from a market move.
Giving yourself a chance to profit from a market move is not a bad option at all, but for Christ's sake, take good value.
Serve, here we go. Good first point. Reduces the red.
Be interesting to see how high this does go if he holds.
By a tick, thanks. In that case, I'd like a hold to love, please. No, you donkey, what are you doing? Obviously, laying the player below 2 gives you a lower liability than the stake you're using. It's obvious. Good. 15. Does that reduce my red anymore? Oh, another tick. That's great. See, the market there is just expecting Rochus to come back. I'll come back if they're now on serve, but that was out. Oh, no, I hate 30, look, 30 all. So it means if you get a break point, what do? You can't switch at that. I'll wait till the end of the game. Right, let's do it now. That's not reduced my liability at all. That's just increased it by a tick. What's going on?
Shit values going on, mate.
What I'm going to do, provided he holds here, yeah. Still no movement. Tough crowd. Because Rochus was so diabolical, especially in that his last service game, I'm just going to give him a couple of points to see if he can get ahead. Dabul, that is.
That demonstrates why that entry was crap value. No movement at all.
Let's have a double fault. Okay, this one into the net, please. Not you, you prone. Okay, one more point, and I'm just going to hedge. Come on, 15 all. You can do it. The serve just isn't firing. As we've laid in is what we want. Good man, 15 all. Now we're cooking. So all I'm doing is I'm just giving him a chance to do it. I'm not necessarily expecting him to do it. If it goes against, I'm going to get out. I'm not going to leave it until he's held serve. But if you get out too soon and then comes back and breaks, you miss the opportunity. That's terrible. Let's just get out of this one. Okay, let's have that matched. Someone must be laying in. Let's go. 236 left. 200 left. Getting taken. I'm going to take that. 15 grand, you can bugger up. Change that down to there. Most wide is 50 to start. Oh. Did he hold? He struggled last time, did he? No, down to 30. Good back here. If he was to break, I don't want to miss the price. So again, give him a chance.
No real value backing there either. Better than 119 though.
Profiting if it does go the way that it could well do. Very strong favourite.
Sorry, 118, even worse. First entry.
It's quite a bit better. So maybe he's taken the 2 games to get used to his serve. Whereas Dabul really just took 1. Now what I'm going to be looking to do, you can see there, if I can move that down, I need the price to drop to 1.15 before I'm at break even. Now I want to lift that figure up, so if it looks like it's going to break, I'm going to increase the stake slightly, which will move that break even price up a little.
Okay, just get my head around what I said there. Looking at the ladder, you can see down the bottom at 115. That's where our break-even figure is. That in itself tells you what awful value I've taken. And I'm sure I said that if it looked like Rochus was going to break, I was going to back again. So it's going to be around about 124, 125, or maybe lower, to lift that break-even price. Now, as long as I back above 115, it will do that. It's just such bad value all the time. You're relying on either getting lucky or reading the match correctly. I don't know. See how this goes. I haven't seen this. I'd watched the first couple of minutes just to see if the sound was okay, etc. Don't do this at home, kids.
And because we're on serve, if Dabul looks like holding, I'm just going to lay off part of my red figure there. Not all of it. I don't want to have too high a red on Rochus because his price is low. And if you're trying to get rid of a red on a player, you need a decent price to be working with, and I don't have it. Especially if it was to break serve. Excellent. First one's gone our way. Centre that one. Increase it by 150. I don't want to go over 500 liability. Nice. Let's just increase it then. Come on, take it. Too greedy. Late. Thank you.
So that's lifted the break-even figure by 2 ticks.
This point will be good. Right. Okay, the hedge figure's down to 40, so not too bad at the moment. Still, if he could get this point, puts him in a strong position. Ah, that's weak.
When I'm watching these old videos, bear in mind this is 10 years ago, although I was trading full time at this point, the fact that I'm not living in a box means that I was either much better at reading matches than I am now. I was just such a jammy bastard.
The last couple of games have gone. Rochus seems to be just edging it a little bit. And because Rochus is going to be serving next, I'm not in any great rush to lay off, to be honest. Dabul needs his serve to be firing, and it's not. But Rochus needs to be shortening these points. He's not going to win a baseline contest with a clay quarter.
So lucky.
So you can see what I've done so far, and it would be great if we get a break point here. It's just really manoeuvring, and the big phrase that I use is put yourself in a position to profit from a price movement. There's no good the price dropping 20 ticks if you're not in the market. Is that it? It is indeed. Good move. And you see now we're in profit. Makes it a little easier to make decisions on who's on top, obviously, if you can actually see the players. I did a lot of my early trading with just a scoreboard, and it's surprising how much information you can get from just a scoreboard. I don't know this up now. And looking at how much money comes in, when it comes in, where they place it, you can usually tell when it's a second serve, because the amount of money that's placed is a lot smaller than the money that's placed when a point's won. I quite like it to hold serve here. I'm in trouble. I have some work to do. Good, 15 off. The games that I like the most are the ones where it's almost boring. The games where you've got to be concentrating constantly. I don't want to be praying for a point to go my way.
That's all you do.
Okay, 30-15. 5-2 lead would be good. And what I'll be doing, if it's looking ahead, and don't want to count any chickens, if he did manage to take the set, depending on what the price was, I would lay off either half or the full liability. Now, the reason I would be thinking to lay off half is that it's gone. It obviously leaves you a bigger green on the current leader. I wish I'd done that on the Schneider game earlier on today. Could have actually greened up at 70 odd pounds at the end of the first set. Decided to.
Obviously, laying off liability is something that I still do, and I definitely recommend. If you've taken better value, you would get more benefit from doing it. So here we're at 115, 11 quid hedgeable profit at that point. His price hasn't gone a lot higher than start price of 139. I think it was up maybe 155. I'm not sure I'd have backed him without him being broken to start with. I would probably not be in this game unless I had laid at 2 love to Rochus. So lucky.
Leave it a little bit. She pretty much fell apart in the second set. Still managed to come out with a pretty decent result though, but had to work way too hard for it. Okay, 5-2 in control. I did read a stat today. I'm sure it was this tournament. I'm sure it was. Ouch. That's scary. But again, I've been there. Sorry, a stat that I saw today was something like 88% of games have been in straight sets in this tournament. Certainly 80 plus percent. Which does make you think, well, let's leave it on Rochus as long as he finishes this set as the leader. But it is a semi-final, and you should, in theory, have the better players. Although that's not saying too much. I haven't seen some of the games this week. The second set can be completely different to the first. I've seen players win the first set 6 love and then lose the second set 6 love. So whilst obviously sometimes it pays off and you get more profit from just letting it run, or what I will do sometimes is wait for a break in the second set, and if it doesn't come, then trade out. Because you kick yourself if you trade out at the end of the set and then the very first game you'll play against break. But long term, if you're even thinking of doing this as a full-time job or as a decent second income, you need to play percentages, and the percentage play is to at least reduce your liability at the end of the first set. It feels more controlled. You don't want to be fretting that your player's about to cock it up at the first game in the second set, because that does happen.
I'm talking as if I'm some sort of bloody genius. You've got 2 ticks of profit after that first set. Shut up. Stop embarrassing yourself.
So much into the first set, and they'll almost relax once that first set is won. And it only takes 2 or 3 lapses of concentration and they've lost again. So we're slightly green in a minute. Chances are it's going to take us up to break even if he holds here. $115 $1,200 red. What are you doing? What are you doing putting that stake size in anyway? Oh, cocked it up. Okay. On the toy, you've got a what if feature, same as you've got on the Betfair website. So if I place If I was to lay off 250 at 1.12, that would leave me 57 on Rochus. Just see what happens in this next point. If I was to lay off the full 500, let's say 1.13, lose 22, that's pretty crap really. So I'll just lay off. Well, how about 300? That's what the what is there for. That leaves 48. Let's lay off 300 after the set. Oh, no. Okay, it's looking like he's going to serve for the set. Apologies for my voice today, it's even croakier than normal. Ooh, that's nice. So let's get the break. Let's not rely on you to hold serve. Into the net, please. You donkey, what are you doing? They never do what they're supposed to. Great shot. Back to deuce. Obviously, it depends what sort of profit you're looking for from each game. Could quite easily take £15 and run in. Do that 5 or 6 times a day, and that's, you know, that's a wage for most people. Obviously, if you can get it in fewer games. 20 at the minute. And serve. Oh, you could have creamed that one. Come on. If he does get it, it's going to be down to maybe 11, which leaves me 54 on Rochus if I lay off 300. It seems like a good plan. On the making of one. People ask me why I don't place the order in, just waiting there to get matched. Bit of superstition, really. It seems to jinx it, and whenever I do that, probably 7, 8 times out of 10, they don't win another point until I cancel the order. So we don't want to jinx it. I'd rather have a break here than have to hold serve. Better on the nerves. Yeah, that's how. Just refresh my video, I think, after this one. Well done. There's a lot of waiting and being ready with your finger on the trigger, and it doesn't happen. There's a lot of concentration involved, which is why the recommendations are that you only trade somewhere where you're not going to be disturbed. You know, tell anybody else in the house that you're going to be trading. You don't want to be disturbed. Ideally, you don't want a TV playing in the background, but I will hold my hands up and say that I usually have the TV on downstairs. It also means I'm not locked away from the rest of the family on an evening. Right, the scoreboard is actually well ahead of my video, so let's do it now. Just refresh the video. Should do that more often. Point goes our way. Now the scoreboard is miles behind the video. Come on, I'm getting bored of this game now. Just 2 double faults. Oh, well done. Unfortunately. Now let's have a double fault. You owe me one, come on. I deserve a double fault. Time for one. Oh, what was that? Okay, so we've done the whole serve. Going to be looking at round about 111, 112 for the set, I reckon. Anything low as a bonus. Come on, stop talking, they're going to be serving straight away. What are you doing? Oh. Good night. First one. Let's put that out. Okay, is that going to drop? Just needs to move the back down to 113. Come on. Come on, what's wrong with 113? We're not all superstitious. Yeah, that's related. That's crap. That's complete garbage. If we do end up having to lay off there, always worries me when you use a mouse pad. I'm going to click on it. That's better. If the game goes against, I'm still probably going to lay off the 300. Or I may change my mind and go to 250. Probably 250 if the game goes against. Yeah, in. Ooh, Christ, nearly missed that one. Okay, what price we're going to get? Sure, it's going to bounce to 11. I don't want to put it in case it doesn't bounce to 10. And I can also could jinx it. I'm going to wait. Gonna get 1.1. Oh, what are you doing? It's like watching the women. Oh, the video's frozen. I'm just going to put it back again. Bounce start. Over there. Place it at 111 by the time someone else gets taken. And goes down into it. Okay, match pretty quickly. People backing and laying work their way through the queue, if that makes sense.
Not sure what's up with the scoreboard there, hasn't updated the points.
Stand the price going up to 0.27 if I'm in the red. And probably wouldn't go too much above that if there was a break.
Given that we're in a shit position, laying that off you can see has improved the break-even price. Lets you stay in a little bit longer. Even when you've taken bad value. And I've taken bad value.
Oh, there's one. Let's see even ladder. There you go. Stake buttons. And you can decide to either turn them off, have them at the top or down the bottom. Okay, the what if figure. Ringo, have you got that for the stake buttons? It's been recorded anyway, so you can look if you haven't. What was that one? The what if figure. Can't remember. With that many options. I don't remember. Ah, there you go. Nice easy one. Show what if. Right click on the top. On the top bar there. And halfway down. Next to the late column. You want the one with profit and loss? Sorry, with the hedge figure. Okay. That is, I think, ladder layouts, profit and loss, and then select own column, and that'll place it where you see it on mine. Okay, second set's underway. Double to serve. Super smashing great. I never actually said that, apparently. Anyway, that was out. Okay. Problem with the price being so low is that we don't want to risk backing, even if it's 40 to the look. I think it's more a case of waiting till the price goes low to get a decent hedge. So we're looking at 42, maybe 45.
For a second I thought I was going to back at 1.05 or something.
For a minimum of 10%. And obviously at some point in the game I have 500 liability, so I've been looking for a minimum of 50 quid from it. However, anything over 40 I'm quite happy with. Again, do that 3-4 times a day, and that'll do me nicely.
Not surprising when you see the sort of value I was or lack of value that I was taking. That I was only aiming for 10%. Don't remember that, but looking at these older videos, I can believe that back in 2010 I was happy with 10% or anything.
Good shot. Come on, lad. Come on, do it for Bradford. I know you're not from Bradford, but that doesn't matter. I am. Time for a double. Good job. Now we can take 38 there, which is tempting, but I'd like a little bit more. 45 would be nice. Come on, into the net. Into the net. I want 104. Attempts to put the order in. That's a good return. That's a bit weak.
So lucky.
Come on, come on, come on. No. You donkey. That would have been nice. That would have been job done. A little bit more. Give us a double. Make mine a double. Oh, do better this time.
Obviously, because there's a bit of profit on the Rochus side, you could have had a lay. What did it go down to? 106, 105?
Ooh, come on. Challenge.
It's just a shame that he's not serving particularly well.
Oh, good shot. Not that kept over. Refugee. Ooh. Oh, well played. Good length. Okay, finger on the trigger. One over four is probably not going to happen. Although, if he was to go 30 live up in the next game, if he gets a break, you can see it. Come on, give us the double. No ice. Good shot. Oh, yeah, I wasted it. Oh yeah. Now we'll take 5. Oh, Steve, stop retreating. Oh, I'm gonna get it. Come on. No. Yes. Must be the front of the queue if I've been matched. There we go. 45 quid. What we could do now is lay in. Obviously, it's a really low price to be laying. I don't really expect the price to be going up too far from there. 45, almost 10%. So I can watch this next game. Don't really want to lay in.
You could lay there, leave yourself a bit of profit on Rochus. And you never know if tennis can turn around. Not risking anything.
Just see how the first few coins go. Double fault. Should have laid in. Okay, 15 all. I really don't see the ball coming back from 2 down. If Rochus can get to that. Oh. Just not convinced by the ball to lay. That's why. If the first set had been closer, then there's no question I'd have been late. Certainly, strike wouldn't have been 104. The fact that it's gone down to as low as that, from a start point of just below 1.4, I think it's 1.39, tells you what the traders who are doing this day in, day out think of Dabul's performance. Started off okay, served alright, he's been able to keep decent length rallies going, but the killer balls just aren't there. Okay, let's see if we can take this one. So the price now, even going 2-0 up, 104 was just about the best I was going to get. Let's go. 2-0. Any questions you want to fire at me? Is there anything you'd have done differently?
Oh Christ, yes.
Not quite as smooth as the last one, which was the Williams final. Had a little bit of work to do. Liability went up to about 59, was about the highest I saw, absolutely more, which is, as far as I'm concerned, that's under control. So if it starts going over 100, not too happy. Certainly 150, I'd be looking to just hedge in. I think I'm just cocked up here. Let's just regroup a little bit. but difficult never to have any race, particularly if the game doesn't go the way you expect it. What I am doing, I'm recording the session. A couple of people have asked me if I will put it on the members site. Now, what I want to ask you is, personally, if I paid to get into a session and then it was going to be posted for free, I wouldn't be too happy about that. So what I'm going to ask is, would you rather I just send it out to yourself? You pay for it, you get a copy of its key, or it would be a link to a website I'll put on the server. I don't know. I mean, is that just me being? Yeah, good. It's nice to have that. Nobody's actually confirmed that to me when I've asked before. I don't think it's fair to.
Right, I'll stop it there. Obviously, wishing on about things to do with the members area at the time. Again, awful value. Back in 2010, a lot's changed in the way that I trade now. I think these videos are useful to see, rather than just tell you what I would do, show the old me doing it wrong and now suggesting what I would do differently is probably more useful than just watching me go through a trade and end up with a green or end up with a red or whatever. Different angle to it anyway. Hope you found that useful. I will see you on the next video.